There seems to be a lot of information related to windshield replacements for your Tesla. In my case, specifically our Model 3. So I wanted to share my experience and hopefully help you understand the process that I went through to have my windshield replaced, how much it cost, and why I went the route that I did. So let's back up. Let me explain what happened. Literally 2 weeks after I took delivery of my new Model 3, I got a stone chip. Driving along on the highway, keeping a nice distance between myself and the truck that was in front of me, that truck threw up a stone that hit the windshield pretty darn hard. That resulted in a nice little chip in my windshield that I knew if I didn't get it fixed pretty quick, it was going to spread. So that morning when I got home, I did some research on where I could take the car to have that stone chip replaced. And when I went out about 4 hours later to pick up my son from school, a nice 18-inch crack had resulted from that stone chip and spread across the driver's portion of my windshield. So I knew I had to get the thing replaced. So what did I learn from the research that I did before I scheduled my windshield replacement? There is a whole lot of differing opinions on where you should take your vehicle to have your windshield replaced. You do need to ensure that you're getting an OEM windshield for your Tesla. The front-facing cameras need to be recalibrated after the windshield is installed. And a number of folks say you can get it done cheaper if you go through a third party like Safelite to replace your windshield. So what did I do? In my case, I requested a quote from Safelite through their website, mainly because I had worked with them previously on one of my other vehicles, and I was able to have the windshield replaced for, I don't know, roughly $300-400. So about 10-15 minutes after I had requested the quote, I got a response, an email response that stated it was going to cost me $1,525 to have my windshield replaced. After picking myself up off the floor, I decided, okay, I'm going to look at the Tesla Service Center route. Let's see how much it's going to cost to get my windshield replaced through Tesla. And I proceeded to open up a service request through the Tesla app. Now, luckily, I was able to make an appointment about a week or so out. So I grabbed the first time that I could find. And a few days before my scheduled appointment, I got an estimate from Tesla through the app that stated it would cost $1,062 to have that windshield replaced. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to save roughly $500. It's a new vehicle. I'm just going to take it to Tesla and let them deal with it. So the morning of my appointment at the service center, I dropped the car off, and quite literally 5 minutes later, I was on my way. Now, they stated to me once the windshield was replaced, it was going to take roughly 4 to 8 hours for the bonding agent to cure properly before they would release the car to me to drive. Now, this wasn't a surprise to me because this was all being communicated through the Tesla app as prior to the appointment. So I knew going in that this was going to be an all-day process. So A+ for communication to the Tesla service team for that. Now, unfortunately, I didn't qualify for a rental. Rentals are supposedly reserved for warranty work that you're having done on your vehicle. Windshield replacement isn't considered warranty work, so I was on my own for transportation. They did, however, offer me a $100 Uber credit to use to get back home and back to the service center when I was going to pick up my vehicle. So keep that in mind if you're planning on leveraging a Tesla service center. At least you can get some Uber credits if you need those. During the course of the day, they were in communication with me through the application, so I knew the progress that they were making on my vehicle. They notified me when the windshield was replaced and told me that I could pick up the vehicle later that evening. I did not need to be there before 6 o'clock when they closed. They would leave the car out locked in their parking lot for me, and I could pick it up on my own time frame. Now, interestingly enough, the final cost was somewhat less than the estimate that they had provided to me. The estimate was $1,062. The final cost to me was $1,001, which I found interesting that the final cost was somewhat less than the estimate. Now, overall, they did a really good job with the replacement. I do have a complaint with how dirty they left it. When we picked it up, it was at night and the lights were shining on it, and you could visibly see on the windshield that there was a lot of glare coming off the windshield, and I wasn't able to tell if it was on the inside or on the outside. That evening driving home, I could tell there were a lot of smudge marks on the windshield, and it was all on the inside. So not a really big deal. I mean, I can clean that off with some glass cleaner and a rag. But it was one of these things that I would have expected them to do that prior to releasing the vehicle to me. So it was just kind of odd that there was these smudge marks, this grime on the windshield that should have probably been cleaned up. So it was interesting that going through a third party like Safelite was not going to be any cheaper than using Tesla. In fact, it was going to cost $500 more than using Tesla. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I mean, I've got a 2-week-old vehicle that, you know, obviously it's not a warranty problem, but I'd rather take it to Tesla, especially if it's, you know, less than a month old, and have them do it and do it right. And besides, it saved me $500. Now, overall, the experience with the service center was very positive. All the communication was done with the Tesla app on my phone, and they answered all of my questions adequately. It took less than 5 minutes to drop my vehicle off in the morning of my appointment. They communicated to me throughout the day, so I knew the progress that they were making during the service visit. Once the work was completed, I was able to pay via the Tesla app, and they left the vehicle outside for me to pick up when all was said and done. I didn't need to rush there before they closed. It was all bundled up, ready for me to go later that evening when I picked the car up. This was my first appointment with a Tesla service center. So I walked away pretty impressed with the overall process. By far, it beats a traditional dealership where you have to drop your vehicle off, the whole check-in process is convoluted, and then you got to call for updates, then you got to go back to the dealership before they close so you can pay for the vehicle. I'd much rather deal with the simplicity of the Tesla service center model. It just worked out very well for me. So that's about it. I've got a new windshield now. Cost me less than a third party. They did a pretty decent job. They should have probably cleaned the windshield before they delivered it to me, but not that big of a deal, really. And it set me back $1,000 for a new windshield, which I won't be claiming against my insurance because I have a $1,000 deductible on my comp. So at least this way I don't need to worry about my insurance rates going up. Hope you found this helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.